Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of yous, guys out there in Radioland. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
So back in 2015, the NYPD set up a sting operation and caught Harvey Weinstein on tape admitting to groping a woman. It's while he's trying to lure a woman into his hotel room, and the whole thing is pretty gross and pretty freaking pathetic. The recording was released along with a full report from the New Yorker the other day about the rape allegations against him. Have a listen.
What do we have to do here?
Nothing. I'm going to take a shower. You sit there and have a drink. Water.
I don't drink. Can I stay on the bar?
No, you must come here now.
No.
Please, I'm not going to do anything. I swear on my children. Please come in. On everything. I'm a famous guy.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now.
Please come in now. And 1 minute. And if you want to leave, when the guy comes with my jacket,
yesterday you touched my wrist.
Oh, please, I'm sorry. Just come on. I'm used to that. Come on.
Are you used to that?
Yes, come in.
No, but I'm not used to that.
I won't do it again. Come on. Sit here. Don't ruin your friendship with me for 5 minutes.
I know, but it's kind of like, it's too much for me. I can't.
Please, you're making a big scene here.
No,
please.
but I want to leave.
Okay, bye.
It's disgusting. It's really horrifying. It's freaking stomach turning. And I think it's stomach turning for a lot of reasons, but mostly because you know that this is played out over and over again. And also you start to realize this is how it happens. The way he persists, the way he doesn't take no for an answer, the way he kind of beats up someone verbally and kind of mentally into thinking any of this is okay or normal. And I think that's the craziest thing about this, because so many people can, from the outside looking in, go, how does something like this happen? Why would anybody put up with this? Why would, what? And this is a guy who just, this is a guy who didn't have anyone around him that told him no for years and years and years. And it's freaking hideous. Harvey said that his wife was 100% behind him. Well, he was wrong. Georgina Chapman announced that she's leaving him and said, quote, "My heart breaks for all the women who have suffered tremendous pain because of these unforgivable actions." He's been a huge contributor to liberal causes and Democratic politicians, including Barack Obama and the Clintons. So they couldn't remain silent on this. Obama and his wife, Michelle, said they're disgusted by it and praised the women for coming forward. As you may know, their daughter Malia interned for Harvey as a scriptreader. Hillary said she was shocked and appalled. Some people are criticizing her for not commenting sooner, but there you go. Matt Damon said he did not knowingly try to tamp down a sexual harassment story about Harvey in 2004. This was the accusation, that there was going to be a sexual harassment story written about Harvey in 2004, and Matt Damon ran interference on the situation. And he claims that he never saw that kind of behavior when he worked with him. Ben Affleck said he's saddened and angry and sickened by what's coming out about Harvey. Ben Affleck has Ben Affleck, by saying he's saddened and angry, has started to catch his own heat for being inappropriate in a sexual harassment kind of way in the past. Do you remember Funkhauser? We were talking about a lot of sort of like late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh yeah. You talking about off the air or?
Well, yeah. Hold on. Who was it? It was, she was on MTV. She was on One Tree Hill. Hillary Burton. You remember her?
No.
She was on MTV. She was like a 19-year-old host. She was a 19-year-old host in like 2003. And Ben Affleck has been very public about going, well, that's not okay that Harvey did that. And then a video went viral of Hillary Burton being groped by her, being groped by Ben Affleck. Affleck has apologized for his behavior, saying in a statement, "I acted inappropriately toward Miss Burton and I sincerely apologize." And it's funny because you can watch the video, and it's a weird thing because he walks over, he's like, "What are you, like 19 years old?" And he gropes her out of shot of the camera. He grabs her boob. And then she later told the story laughing. She was like, he grabbed my boob. I was like, yeah, I didn't ask for that. And she was 19 at the time. She's 35 now. And she's been very clear saying, I was laughing because if I wasn't laughing, I would have been crying. And it's a very interesting one when you kind of see how this happened, because that remains the big question. Why didn't they speak up? Why did they let a predator get away with the things they got away with? How is this possible? And the really disturbing part, but really valuable part of all this, is you start to see how it happens. You start to see, hold on one second. That's how he did it. That disgusting tape of Harvey Weinstein badgering a woman into coming into his hotel room and grabbing her breast. You go, oh my gosh, this is how he did it. And then it just doesn't stop. And you realize that what some people can get away with in these situations is tantamount to murder. Well, it's rape. It's sexual harassment. It's rape. And it's unforgivable. And these things are so terrible that the question gets asked over and over again. If he really did this, how come he hasn't been caught? How did he get away with this for all these years? And that's how. These things happen. But what's so valuable is people standing up en masse, like they did with Cosby, going, that's not okay. This is not okay. This guy got away with something for so long, and it's not okay. And hopefully, the size of this story will translate into other parts of life, other workplaces. Did you see what Terry Crews did? You know Terry Crews, right, Funkhauser?
Oh, is he a football player?
He could have been. And he was some sort of athlete before he was an actor. You know Terry Crews. Google Terry Crews. He's on, what's he on? He's on, what's the big show he's on with the guy from SNL?
Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah. Yeah, Terry Crews.
All right.
He's enormous guy. And he went on Twitter after Harvey Weinstein happened. He said, this whole thing with Harvey Weinstein is giving me PSD. Why? Because this kind of thing happened to me. My wife and I were at a Hollywood function last year. At a high-level Hollywood executive came over to me and groped my privates. Jumping back, I said, what are you doing? My wife saw everything, and we looked at him like he was crazy. He just grinned like a jerk. I was going to kick his ass right then, but I thought twice about how the whole thing would appear. 240-pound black man stomps out Hollywood honcho would be the headline the next day. Only I probably wouldn't have been able to read it because I would have been in jail, so we left. That night and the next day, I talked to everyone I knew that had worked with him about what had happened. He called me the next day with an apology, but never really explained why he did what he did. I decided not to take it farther because I didn't want to be ostracized. Par for the course when the predator has power and influence. I let it go, and I understand why many women who this happens to let it go. Who's going to believe you? Few. What are the repercussions? Many. Do you want to work again? Yes. Are you prepared to be ostracized? No. I love what I do, but it's a shame and the height of disappointment when someone tries to take advantage of that. He knows who he is, but sometimes you have to wait and compare notes with others who have been victimized in order to gain a position of strength. I understand and I empathize with those who have remained silent. But Harvey Weinstein is not the only perpetrator. Hollywood is not the only business where this happens. And to the casualties of this behavior, you are not alone. Hopefully, me coming forward with my story will deter a predator and encourage someone who feels hopeless. And for people going, how could these women, how could these young girls not say something? Here's, like you said, a 240-pound former American football player. Enormous guy, capable of handling anything physically that comes his way. Yet, he was put in a position of weakness by someone in his workplace. And so the question becomes over and over again, how could this happen for so long? And this, I guess what I'm getting at is this is how these things happen. And it is so important. It's so important that we change the script, change the narrative of what is and what is not okay and what we let slide. And I really, really hope that these floodgates opening make people recognize that it's okay to stand up. It's okay. And people go, oh yeah, that's really brave for them standing up 20 years. Trust me, this stuff takes stones. This stuff takes guts. And I applaud everyone who's come forward and will continue to come forward